Greetings, my name is Johnny Recker, and you're listening to Demon Dayz, an actual play podcast with a focus on fiends and the friends who play them. I'd like to start our show by thanking our regular sponsor, Arknight, whose maps, props, and minis bring our game to life. I want to draw your attention to KiloWhat and her awesome show art. Seriously, go check it out. Listen, in anticipation for meeting all of you at various cons this year, we brought a ton of Demon Dayz logo stickers to hand out. Turns out 2020 had other plans. They're burning a hole in our pockets, and we hear that the post office could use the help, so here's the deal. Write us a review on your favorite podcast service, take a screen grab, and send that and an address to thesedemondayz@gmail.com. That's with a Z, just like our Twitter handle. We know that some of you folks are a few episodes behind, so our plan is to keep this promotion going until all the stickers we currently have in stock are gone. Thank you so much for joining us on this adventure. Stay safe out there. We love you, and now, on to today's episode.
Friends, fiends! I'm glad you could make it. Warms my brick-throwing heart. When last we spoke, the party took their leave of that silly monastery, but not before cleaning them out of most of their supplies. Serves the bastards right for meddling in poor Lace's affairs. Anyway, we begin our tale right as our horny hero sets sail for the Usurper's fall, a mountain whose relationship status is, shall we say, complicated? Quick, hand me that ale, and let's get right into these Demon Dayz.
The Phoenix Blade takes its leave of the Ver'osh Dea, almost fully stocked thanks to your quick thinking and solid stealth rolls. There's just enough of a wind this late in the evening to guide the ship out to the southern currents, which pick up enough of the slack to give you a decent travel pace. Having experienced the constant speed of the Skirl gems and what they provide, relying on the sails and the current feels just like home to some of you. Before you bed down for the remainder of the night, one of the deckhands points out an interesting sight. A thick fog envelops the monastery and the area around it, completely shrouding it from view, like it had been before you arrived. You're not sure if said fog is an automatic response to you leaving, or if a different patrol caught on to what was happening. Could also be that your sympathetic allies gave you a head start before covering their own asses and sounding the alarm. Either way, that area is closed off to you for the time being. The morning sees you awakened and refreshed, and much closer to the west mountain of the Usurper's fall, although seeing the dreadful place get closer dampens some of your morning's enthusiasm. Drago informs each of you as he does his rounds that you are about 3 hours from the western inlet of your destination, and that the crew are packing some basic provisions for you to get you to your destination, just to get you started on your trip once you disembark from the boat. After this, Drago pulls Fetter aside. We have for the time being confined Cadence to her quarters, and we have posted a few hands at her door to attend to her. As of right now, she's thrilled to have a bit of a break, so that's good for us. I also want to talk with you about your family down below.
Yeah.
If you wish, we can take them further out to sea and give them a proper sea burial, or you can take them with you to bury them on land. Although I don't like the look of where you're going, necessarily. So that might not be a great option. It's up to you. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, once upon a time, the hope was to give them, the good death of the Ver'osh Dea, whatever ritual preparations they classically do, but I think most of our faith there has been lost. I'm fine with it sea as long as, whatever proper seaman's rights are observed, and I don't know, just get far away from here. Very, very far away from here, please. I know it's an ill omen for a sailor to keep corpses on board for too long, but do me that solid. I mean, they were used to power the thing that we're heading towards, theoretically. And I know that they're husks of their former selves, but whatever latent potential is still there should, for their sakes and their souls' sakes, whatever happens to them when they get trapped in that machine. It would do them well to be far, far away from here, if that's all right.
Yes, we can do that. We'll take them out, which tangentially brings me to another point. If you wish, just while you guys travel this mountain and deal with that, if you are needing some kind of ripcord, or if there's a backup you might need, we can do a once around the southern end of the mountain. And he pulls out his map and does show you just a southern curve on that. Mm-hmm. We can be nearby, not necessarily close enough to, have problem with the corpses, perhaps, or Cadence. She would have to swim a long way to get to shore. But it could be something of a backup should things go tits up. Or if you prefer, we can just go our merry way. But we will probably be seabound for a little bit as we recharge and find a new way to get back into the air.
Fantastic. Yeah, we have a signal stone that you may fire off. I'd hate to alert the entire mountain of our presence, but there's that, and perhaps, depending on how far we are, I don't want to overuse Taslinn's services, but you may see the bird or some other such sort of magical message, so it's good to know that we have the option. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I have faith that you guys will be able to get to the bottom of this. You guys are pretty capable folk, from what we've seen here on the ship. Just, it's an option, and it gives us time to mill about while we recharge, and we can offer that. So it's up to you. We will follow your lead on that, and then from there, once we leave, we will do the proper sea burial for your cousins. Did you know them? I'm surprised that you actually had any.
Me too.
I mean, naturally, they're going to keep everything they possibly can from me. You know how the family is. Right,
but no, this seems to have been kept from everyone. I don't know how far up that goes. I haven't really spoken to Mom about it, but this is all at least 100 years ago or so, theoretically, and I don't know if many outside of a very tight-knit group even knew of their existence, but they obviously came of age somewhat, so I don't know. But if dear Auntie was as mad as long as you know her, then my guess is they were dead long before you were ever in the picture.
Yeah. And there would be no reason for me to be curious enough to question that.
Yeah.
But just the same, I still feel terrible. Genuinely terrible.
Yeah. So, I don't know. If you all find Mom before I do, she knows how to send me a message, so.
Okay.
We're going to try to wrap up our business here and then theoretically head that way, but I trust her to stay out of too much trouble.
Did she contact you and say where she was going?
It goes no further than you, but she's headed to where we believe the last tower is. She's headed far, far, far to the west, to Kisaris. Vangmar's Bane is how she put it.
Oh.
I know that that's supposed to be theoretically friendly territory, depending on whose politics you play, but that's where they were headed.
Okay. Mum's the word, though. I will keep it to myself.
Thank you.
And frankly, if it ever came to it, and I might, it might be where I part the Phoenix Blade myself and take my own private journey, if you will.
Sure. Little family reunion, why not? It's long overdue.
I miss her something fierce.
I know. And I'll clasp, a hand up on his shoulder.
Thanks. All right, we have some more preparations to do to get you guys set on your way. Thanks to the extra provisions you guys acquired, we can get you guys set up with enough to keep you set on your travels. But I still have to take care of that, and I will let you guys convene and do what you need to for the next couple hours.
Okay, very good. John, I'm gonna take my leave of everybody and try to find a quiet space off on my own.
Okay.
And either below decks or private quarters somewhere where people can't see me. And I'm gonna get out a piece of paper or non-magical paper and just scribble out a little missive, seal it up, and I'm gonna call forth Shoshana. I'm gonna say, Shoshana, come here, I need you. And see if she appears.
It takes maybe a good solid 5 minutes of wondering if this thing was just bullshit before there's a little bit of a pop to the back of your back of your ear. You're not sure if you hear it or not, and then you look to your left and you see Shoshana, the Cambion, standing there. She looks well rested, healthier, more repaired, but definitely less hostile and a little bit more cautious, especially considering that she's able to deduce fairly quick that she's on a boat. She looks at you and grunts. Yeah.
What news of the family?
So far, it's just Igni and I. We did get your message, or rather, Igni did. And, yeah, we are kind of in a holding pattern in Sky Point for the time being. We're trying to figure out if there's any activity and if there's any relation to what transpired. Igni said you would know more about that. What she did, she's kind of in a wait-and-see sort of situation. I hope that helps or gives you at least some angle.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Just wanted to know if there was any actionable intelligence on our side. Look, I have a mission for you. It was previously for your time in Dis, but if you're here, Sky Point should work out just fine. And I'll hand her the missive, and I'll be like, inside here is the names and descriptions of 2 monks. They're headed from Edgewater down towards where we are here, essentially just west of Usurper's Fall. Now I need you, and I'm just so you know, John, I'm using part of my criminal spy background, which I have a feature called Criminal Contact, which I can send messages over long distances to people in criminal organizations. It's very exciting. I've never used this. I'm kind of excited. So, Shoshana, I need you to find someone who can curry a message to someone, worshiper, lieutenant of Lolth. And I know Blood War is what it is, but we've always played both sides. This shouldn't be too weird. But there's a cult of heretics that escaped her, hiding out down here. And I think she might be very interested to know where they are. So find me someone that can pass that information along, and the ID of their 2 monks that are headed back to their base and the trajectory of the route they're on should be enough to pique their interest. And I have more information when you find someone reliable.
Okay, I will do that. And she slowly smirks, and you can see some of the sharper teeth in there. You get the sense that some of this clandestine stuff is starting to really appeal to her versus just straight up bodyguard grunt work.
Show yourself true in this, and, bigger and better things. You know how it works.
Of course. This is turning out to be fun.
Yeah.
And if you have nothing else, I will take my leave and return to Igni and just coordinate my special mission, unless you do not want her to know. But I feel like this is something that she wouldn't care about.
If she asks, I'm fine for you to let her know. This is more of a personal vendetta of one of my party. If she doesn't ask, there's no reason to mention.
For sure.
Thank you.
And she probably won't ask. We've developed a nice trust.
Great. And again, she moves out of Sky Point at all, you come find me, yeah?
Will do.
All right. Thanks.
She steps back, and just as your eyes flit away from her and back, she's gone. You hear that light little pop in the back, and you are once again alone in your section under the decks.
All right, comport myself, a little prestidigitation, and then I'll head back to find everybody else.
Cool. Yewsiff and Taslinn, it's going to take him about maybe 5 minutes from where he is to get up to where you are. Are you doing anything before this or during this?
I probably would just be on deck helping out, however I can. Being actually on the water for the first time in the boat, like, I'm probably getting my sea legs if we've been at it for a whole day.
Okay.
And sea hooves.
Yeah, the sea hooves.
All right, and then Taslinn, how about you?
Probably just doing more study of the books. So probably just going through the bits of journals that she made available to me, kind of thing.
Okay.
Still doing what I can to get help from the Raven Queen in my fucking journal.
Okay.
But I'm sure she's not very goddamn helpful.
For the research that you're doing in the books, you said you were, in a previous session, you were trying to learn something new as far as an ability goes. Are you applying that goal to this area of research in the books?
Yeah, just trying to essentially see if there's any new spells that I might be able to glean from the books, or so on and so forth.
Okay. I guess for this, I would say, let's get you rolling some dice.
That's a no. 11.
11. You feel within that span of 3 hours, you find yourself getting close to something, but it's still just not quite there. It's akin to reverse engineering something in like coding or HTML or something like that, where you're like, I think this is how this goes, and then you run the test and it fails, and you're like, well, what did I miss? And so you know enough now to have a easier time, lower DC maybe next time you spend a batch of time researching. But for now, it's frustratingly close, but not that close.
John, do I still have that Cania book, or did somebody else hang on to it?
No one took it from you after the session ended, so you still have the very weird magical Cania book.
Yeah, I'll probably have that out if they don't need me on deck. I'll probably be up front with Gallahan and just trying to figure out a way to pop that thing open.
Sure, and you give the try. You offer your help, and they have you help with some menial tasks to get ready. But they do sense that as you said earlier, your sea legs are, you're getting them back. So they politely be like, "We got this, thank you," and they're very effusive in that thanks. But they essentially kind of dismiss you from helping them.
I'm in the way. I get it. I'm in the way.
Oh man, that's the worst. That is like the worst feeling. It's like when your dad's like, "I'm gonna fix the lawnmower," and you're like, "Cool, I'll help," and he's like, "No, you can play Zelda. That's fine." And you're just like, "Okay,
No, I'm
good. Welcome to childhood corner."
Yep. And the crew is also very aware of this, and they're bothered that they have to be the ones to do that. So they're like, it's like a doubling up of just awkward for them, because they're aware that they're doing this to you. They're putting you in the child's corner. They don't want you to feel like you're in the child's corner. It's
Well, I do appreciate it.
Yeah. And then you have you and Gallahan are off on your own. You have your kind of own space, your own time to futz around with the book. What are you planning on doing?
Well, I'm leaning up against him, and like I guess I'll make another perception. 6. Just seeing if there's anything I missed, like looking over the binding, looking over the gilding or whatever that is on there. If there's maybe some script I didn't see, or is something hidden. But with a 6, I don't think I really find anything. And I'll actually use Mage Hand, and I won't hold it, and I'll keep it up there and just like hold it with magic, so to speak, to see if that does anything. Since it's a magical book, I'm grasping at straws here, but it's like I'm trying to check things off the list, like in a scientific method.
Yeah. You don't really notice any, like the Mage Hand itself doesn't change its properties, and as you turn it around, you still see it's a weird effect up close and personal, where you sense that there's the opening where the book should open on one side, and the clasp goes around it, where it looks like it's supposed to latch there. But when you turn over to look at it, the seam is there, and it kind of like, it's almost like your eyes are chasing
the seam,
and no matter where you are, it's always just on the other side. It's a weird effect, but it definitely proves that something magical is locking this sucker down.
Got it.
You do get a light tap on your shoulder, Yewsiff, as you're doing that trying to like talk to the book. You're like, okay, open. You're doing the Mage Hand, and you turn and see Vanessa standing there, just looking at you, very confused. Can I help you with anything?
No.
I see you're messing with something.
I mean, maybe. Well, and I pluck the book out of air and I hand it to her. I'm like, open that.
She picks it up from you, looks at it. Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. She takes a moment. Well, I can try something, if I may. Is this something that could explode on me? Is this valuable? If I do something and it messes up, would you be pissed?
I have no idea, because I haven't read it, so ignorance is bliss at this point. If it blows up, I'm sorry, but it's not my fault.
Sure. Okay. And then she turns towards the sea and holds the book out in that direction. Just like, okay, let's give it a try. And she puts her hand over it, and you see her concentrate for a bit. And you feel the air kind of rush on all ends of it, kind of burst out. And you see the book almost become like a book. And you look at it, when she's looking at it and turning it around, you don't see that effect anymore on it. Like, you see the seam, she unclasps it and, like, starts to open it. It's like, she peeks onto the pages, like, okay, nothing.
Oh, you got it. What did you do?
I've been practicing dispelling magic. It was kind of a weak push on it, but I guess this wasn't very strong. She hands it back to you.
Great. Well, thank you. I appreciate the push.
Yeah. Weird. I'm glad it worked. It's, like I said, a pretty weak version of it.
Yeah, you don't have to emphasize that. I get it. I'm not well versed in these powers.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Glad I can help if you need anything. And she waits for like a half second and then starts to turn. Clearly not good with goodbyes, and starts to slowly walk away.
In the awkwardness, I say, I'm sorry. Thank you for your help. I do appreciate it. And then I conspicuously open the book and start concentrating on that.
Yeah, the first thing you see, Yewsiff, when you open the book is, first page, you see just a large letter M, drawn in blood, almost with blood strokes. And you flip to another couple pages. They're blank. Some have weird drawings on them and diagrams, things that seem weird for your first couple pages. And then you get to just a small block of text, almost in a poem, and it reads, "'Twas dark, merciless dark, the Aeon Plain Citadel claim, ere the Nessus Gate, Mephistar. Beware the arcane tempter, corrupter, exemplar, bane of Dispater, the frumious Frostlord. Beware. Long his gaze is knowing toward, experimentation explored, seekers, searchers, studinous lurkers, secrets. And you turn a few more pages in, and you find a couple notable sections. You get, it is said that Cania is the source of all new infernal magic and technology that makes its way through the hells. The level of research and experimentation done here is unfathomable, a fact which burns hot in the minds of all the other lords of the Nine. Specifically, Dispater seethes at the idea that there is knowledge forbidden to him or unknowable by him. Mephistopheles knows this and has agents and wards to protect his realm against Dis's top spies. You pass a little further on. In the early days, M thought it best to create an elite force that could bypass jurisdictions and enforce his will exclusively. The Black Guard would be trained in all manner of combat and thoroughly versed in various social games across the realms. What this meant was that young cadets to Cania's Black Guard would routinely be brought to the brink of death in harsh combat, in harsh conditions, of which Cania has plenty. And once healed, these cadets would spend their time in escort service throughout many infernal courts. Some excelled at this frequent contrast and advanced accordingly. The rest, well, they found a new home in Avernus. You flip a few more pages. Those of Mephistopheles' blood were given preferential treatment, and it was decreed from the tops of Mephistar that the wasting of Cania's blood was forbidden unto annihilation. An act of murder against the chosen blood of Cania were to be hunted and executed without fail and without mercy. And you get about 2/3 of the way through the book, and things start becoming more jumbled and garbled and circular and repeating, but a prophetic text seems to pop out to you. And it pops out to you much bigger than anything else you've read so far. A son of Cania will rise up against a true son and shall strike him down. He shall be hunted to ruin, but the ancients will intercede. And that is most of what stands out to you in the book. Takes you probably the remaining of this chunk of time just to get through all of that and weed through it. But those are the points that pop out for you.
Can we ever get anything that's like straightforward and not a riddle? Or a prophecy?
You hear the word shit echo off across the top deck of the ship from the bow. And you hear a book slam.
What? What? Yewsiff, what? You know, we're trying to infiltrate a network of killer cultists right now. I recommend not exclaiming things across the deck. What's going on?
I hand Fetter the book.
Okay. I mean,
You find that the book is now unmagicked, so you can read through it. And it's a regular book now.
Cliff's Notes? I mean, I'm fine. And I'll flip through it.
With Yewsiff's help, pointing out various spots. He doesn't necessarily repeat them to you, but he points out the spots, I imagine. Just
Yeah, it's more of just like you turn to the page and he just plants an index finger.
Right.
And through that, Fetter, you get everything that I just relayed to Yewsiff.
Oh, fun. I'm going to do one more check. Can I do an eye for detail check? See if there's anything hidden, either illuminated or hidden, either like, you know, sometimes, did you guys know that they used to hide like paintings like in a book that if you like
In the edges of the...
Yeah, in the edges.
Yeah. If you turn it so, or
If you tilt it.
bend the pages, yeah.
I forget what they're called, but yeah. So anything like that, anything written in the margins, you know, like rabbinical text, card notes or anything like that.
You just going off a passive for that, or are you rolling?
No, I'm going to roll for it.
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
That is a 24.
Nice. You leaf through the pages a few times. You kind of do that, you open the book and as you go through all the pages. And one particular page stands out to you only because, and this is very faint, and it's something that you pick up with this, is it feels thicker than the other pages. And it takes you go through it again a couple times just to make sure you aren't feeling things. Mm-hmm. And there's a thicker piece of paper, and just with enough care, you can kind of peel it apart.
Right. Yewsiff, did you get the pages stuck together? And I say as I loosen the...
I haven't had it long enough.
Yeah, true. Do the kids even get that joke with their internet pornographies? Anyway.
Yeah, that was a masturbation joke for all of you listening that don't actually have analog porn.
Magazines.
Maybe you're a quick shooter and we just don't know it. Like,
Oh boy.
Quickest draw in the West.
He's not.
John, I'll take my mom's dagger out and see if I can just kind of gently try to work it open, like a glorified magical letter opener.
Yeah. Just because the pages are still thin enough themselves, do a low DC dex on that. Dex would be fine.
Okay.
Just because you're getting in there in between the thinner pages and.
Ooh, yeah, 19, but my sleight of hand's +3, so 22.
Oh, smooth. Perfect. A slightly folded and somehow still thin paper just falls out as you do so, and you're able to catch it with that dex roll. And you unfold it, and it is a painting, a recreation of Mephistar in the back. And you recognize some of the iconography from just basic history. It's this painting that I can only describe as like a Druskuzen, like a Star Wars-y type thing, where it's like it leads into other images and different faces and different things, as if it were almost attempting to be a painted recreation of the various prophecies and randomness in the book and trying to encapsulate Cania. And you catch a few flourishes that change from the blue shades of everything to slightly more purpled red shades and gashes and swipes of paintbrush and paint stroke. The style seems to change, but they're smaller and tucked away in the corner. You've got 2 figures. One of them weirdly looks like Yewsiff, but if it were more generalized, like a horned satyr type. You don't see eyes, or like there's not detail in the eyes or nose or face, but your first thought is, Yewsiff, you're in this. But there's nothing really specific to point it out to him. It's just there was a mind association with what you saw.
Cool.
And yeah, sure enough, the page that was thicker, slightly thicker, was the one that had that prophecy that Yewsiff pointed out to you.
Mm-hmm. Picture pages? Anybody here look familiar? This guy looks like you.
Oh, a picture book?
Yeah.
That's fun. That's a high commodity in the hells. 12 perception.
Yeah, I would say, like, you see it, and it's like, okay, well, that has my basic figure. It looks like they got the satyr, the legs, the defining features, the way the horns are shaped and the legs are satyr-like. Yeah, no, you could see that. Was this me? Like, how would they know? If this is attached to prophetic text, is this just a seer's artistic, like, rendering? They went into a fugue state and started painting? I mean, that has happened with some of the seekers that make their way to Mephistar and some of the in outer rims of Cania in some of their towers, because there are a bunch of towers out there. Mephistar's not the only one. It's just the best one, the favorite one.
So it seems like it's kind of like an automatic writer that was painting?
Yeah. They fed a bunch of prophecy into an AI machine, and out pops a poster.
Got it.
Are they pictures or are they coloring pages?
Oh boy.
A second sheet falls out, and it's a coloring version of the page.
Fantastic, with little numbers in it and infernal.
Yeah. The bitch of it is, it's paint by numbers. It's
only one number, too. It's blood.
Yeah, for cyan. Like, which color of blood? There's so many. Well, fun times. I mean, I knew things were strained between Dispater and Mephistopheles. We generally just kind of, treated him like upper management, but I didn't know it was this bad. Interesting. Well, congratulations. You have a prophecy, too. Now we're all fucked.
John, is the figure that looks like me, is it like, if it were a movie poster, would it be like one of the like one of the day player roles, or would it be a co-star or one of the leads? Like, where is it in the poster?
It's got you set kind of in the mid-range. That one where it's ambiguous if they're going to be a big player later, or if they're just the marketing.
They're going to start him. They're going to start him on a 3-day and then upgrade him to a series regular in season 2.
Sweet.
Right. Yeah. But you get the sense that with a lot of seer art that comes from at least Cania, that a lot of things that are still in the works, still a big question mark, tend to stay in the middle of any sort of prophetic art.
Okay.
In text, it doesn't matter as much, but in prophetic art, in your region, your realm, you remember at least that a lot of things that have yet to be decided are in the middle.
Because they could go either way.
Right. And interestingly enough, you could almost fold out that middle section and still invariably connect and make another picture without those middle parts, should those be excised, removed.
It's a centerfold?
Yeah.
That's why it was stuck together. Okay.
Mr. March.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
They closed the book before the paint had ability to dry.
Hunted to oblivion, huh? So, and the ancients are keeping that at bay, so that's good, but when do you think that runs out?
I don't know.
When do you think Bonham the Bane exploding your hometown, your adopted hometown, has anything to do with it? What do you think? Wild speculation on my part, but...
He says that name, John, and I look at the picture again to see if there's any, like, picture of a one-eyed man or, like, small humanoids in servitude, or is there anything like that on there?
No, you don't see anything along those lines. It seems like whatever the seer prophesied out is strictly related to anything Cania related, not necessarily anything outside of that realm.
Okay.
Well, seems like there's nothing to be done about this at the moment.
No, but it also means that there's another variable that we haven't seen yet, because if this is true, something's hunting me as well. So
Fantastic. Never a dull moment. So, what say we grab Taz and talk about what we're thinking about doing when we hit the shoreline?
yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I'll be right back. And he goes down below deck real quick and finds the privy.
All right. You do that, and that creates a momentary span of time. If there's anything you want to do, Taslinn, before they reach you, you're free to do it.
No, I'm still just in a room studying books.
All right.
Maybe angrily
Cool.
shaking my journal, trying to get the Raven Queen to, be helpful.
So yeah, a lot of swearing coming from your neck of the woods.
Some threats of fire,
Yeah.
some sweet nothings.
After about enough time of that, Fetter and Yewsiff do reach you. They're able to echolocate the swearing and the sweet nothings, and eventually find the room that you're in, angrily slamming a book into the wall and then hugging it.
Just knock gently, and then slowly open the door, and we both just kind of peek our heads in, like...
A book goes flying past.
Dex save on that, Yewsiff.
Great.
I will use evasion.
Aha! 18.
All right, yeah, you guys are good. You almost see it coming, and just what? Nope.
Duck, I'm like, you find a book you hate too?
Anything having to do with the Raven Queen, pretty much.
Got it.
Fantastic. Yewsiff's got a pretty picture of himself in this little book. Vanessa cracked it open.
Oh,
Apparently, he's going to be hunted to oblivion as well. So that's nice.
Walk in, hand the book to Taslinn.
aren't we all just on the hunted train these days?
Yeah. Though the mention of Dis is curious, because it sounds like the second tower was an attempt of Dis to try to get one up on Mephistar and the magicians there. Thinking back to the recordings. So I wonder, if that was our prototype and it went bad. Who knows if this next tower is going to be one of mine or one of yours? You know what I mean? I mean, at least when we find parts of this machine, hopefully soon, maybe we can see if it looks like anything resembling either of our hometowns. You know what I mean? So, I don't know.
I kind of smooth my hair down so that it's a mess. And sit down in my pile of books that is scattered across the floor with loose pages, and who knows, maybe this tower is Lace's tower.
Yeah, maybe. Wouldn't that be weird? Speaking of our dearly departed, I feel like she was probably the best tracker amongst us. How do we best go about? We still on the same page that we hunt down this caravan, we intercept it as soon as we can, and the plan at that point is to destroy it, or do we use it to try to cloak our way deeper into the mountain? I'm all for destroying it myself. But.
Well, I mean, I spent a good chunk of my life out in the wilderness, so I'm sure I can find something.
Okay. I mean, I'm not bad. I have a tendency to be able to pick up on little details, but that's not specifically tracking men or gear, as the case may be.
Well, the plan is still to land inside the cove on the map and then work our way east across the
base of the ridge line.
Right, to try and intercept, right?
Yeah. Towards the second egress point into the mountain. Yeah, the central egress point.
Right.
Yeah, and then hopefully we can try to sniff out a trail on the way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm guessing if our projections are correct, we're not going to see them for a while.
Yeah. Move quick, try to make up some time. At least until we can catch a scent.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
All right, well, let's see how they're doing upstairs. I'm itching to get off this goddamn boat.
Is anybody hungry? I'm going to go hit the galley real quick.
I'm gonna clean up this mess in here.
All right. Meet up on top deck in like 10 minutes.
Sounds great.
Might take me a little bit longer, but I'll meet you there.
All right. And he goes down to find some type of rations or something. And he's going to look through the book again.
Yeah, so Yewsiff, you go down there, there's some food ready to go, and everyone's just kind of coming and going as they please with today's meal. And yeah, you find a corner and keep poking around. And like I said before, what you got out of it is what I expressed to you. Mm-hmm. The rest is all just charts, graphs, repetitions, and things like that.
He's just trying to make himself more familiar with it, like to almost commit it to memory.
Sure.
Or at least the parts that affect him. And then, head back up to top deck.
All right, cool. And then, you guys meet up, and about now, the Phoenix Blade reaches its destination. It was about 3 hours-ish. And the boat starts to slow, and they drop anchor, and Drago approaches you all. All right, we're at about the safest distance we can go here. The issue we're running into now is that there is shallower water, and it would appear, just from what we've been able to see up top in our scouting, is that a lot of jagged rocks too. Not good for a bigger boat to get through. So we're going to send you the rest of the way with one of our remaining rowboats.
Great.
And it's new, freshly put together, nothing to worry about there. That should take you, though, about 3 miles. So it's going to be a little bit at your rowing speed. So just be ready for that. Mm-hmm. And the day looks clear enough, so if there's anything, you probably won't have nearly the stealth you need. The weather seems to be holding. Clear but slightly cloudy. And if there's anything else we can do, let us do it. And otherwise we can get you on your way.
Thanks, Pop. I think we're ready to go. And I'll give him a big hug. Thanks for everything.
He's a bit taken aback by the quick hug, and he reciprocates.
Glad you're not dead. Don't fuck up. I want to see you captaining one of these things next time I see you.
And he smirks and gets ready with the crew to help lower the rowboat down into the water.
I guess I'll don the oil skin on top of my suit, grumbling slightly.
All right. You guys hear Fetter grumbling as he's getting the oilskin suit on, and they let you guys go forward without too much fanfare and make your way to shore.
Are we there yet? Hey kid, traveling takes some time, and also, we covered some pretty important lore for Yewsiff. You might want to take some notes, as there will be a quiz later. I kid again. Oh. Tough crowd. Anyway, it's time for me to make like a phase spider and fuck off. I will be back next week, provided there's ale, and we'll have even more tales from these Demon Dayz.
I just want to double check that I wasn't that I didn't hear wrong or wasn't weirdly playing myself.
Nope.
All right, back in character.
That oh my god, I can't remember her name.
Vanessa,
thank you. I don't know
Vanessa?
why I was thinking Beatrice for whatever reason. I was like, that's not right.
It's that kind of name. I totally get it.
it's one of those Margaret Peggy things, where they're somehow the same name.
And Peggy.
Yeah.
I'll,
hey, I rolled a 6 on my roll too.
I'm gonna roll a 6, and then a portal's gonna open, but for real.
Oh shit.
No, one of you accidentally rolls a 9, and the DM goes, nice.
Crap.
You have to talk sweetly to it.
Sweet nothings, you whisper, and roll a romancing check.
Romancing the book. 19 charisma check.
You really talked the lock off of that book.
Slowly caressing the band.
All right, and it explodes. No, just kidding. Fuck. Damn, the adventure's over. Retry? No.
Save point.
Choose a different path.
Go back to page 78.